Hi everyone, how's everybody doing? Hopefully trying to keep warm on this lovely sort of
dark day.
rain, horrible day. Yeah, I was going to say it looks absolutely miserable out of my out of my window right now. Looks absolutely awful.
Oh.
So yeah, welcome to today's timely boot camp. Today we're looking at our top features to help you reopen better than ever. So we've been having a bit of a chat about this morning, haven't we, with it reopening next week and how to make the most of it, especially with it being the busiest time in the industry.
Yeah, and just after a lockdown, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's literally going to be manic. So today we're going to run through a few things with you. We've got some few hints and tips, but today is going to be a little bit different because we're not going to run through how to do these things. We're not going to run through how to set them up. We're going to actually show you some examples of how you can use these features and in live salons. So we've got some actual live business examples of how to use these features. And Lizzie's going to start us off talking about consult and timely consult.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm back again. Can't get rid of me now. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about timely consult to begin with. Right now, I mean, when you're normally having clients coming in, you would normally have them come in early, they do a consultation form with you, or they sit in a waiting room with other people as well. Right now, we don't want to be doing that. So if you can try and get them to do a consultation form beforehand, so it saves so much more time in the salon, they can go straight in, through in, upstairs, have their treatment, pay and go. There's less of that kind of hanging around. So it's going to be a lot safer for you and your staff and your business as a whole. You can also do COVID-19 forms as well, which is something that I think is really helpful right now. Again, you know, keeping everybody safe and keeping your business safe as well. It's basically just a little form where they just tick a couple of boxes to say that they're feeling well. And then you kind of know where you stand with that. Yeah, so Annabelle is going to quickly show you a couple of things that you can do with that. I'll pass you on.
Thank you. So I'm going to share a little video of how I use it in my salon. So this is actually my my own list of consultation forms. So you're going to head to setup and then library under consult, and as you can see here in my library of consultation forms, I have all my consultation forms there. I've got my COVID-19 form, but I've also got my treatment records. Now you can see that I've got loads and loads of different forms here for different treatments. So what this means is that when I use these to fill my forms in and fill my treatment notes for these appointments with my clients, I know exactly what form is on their record. I can see it nice and easily. If I need to go back and grab it to just check the treatment notes from the last treatment, it's easy to find. I'm not scrolling through looking for it, trying to work out where they are. But let's have a look at how they're set up. So we'll jump into the lash lift record card. I know this is a really popular treatment and one that's really important to make sure you've got all those treatment notes as well, because obviously you want to make sure that you've got all that information every time so you can get the best treatment for them. So you can see on the left hand side we've got all of the questions that I'm going to fill in. So this is all for me. This isn't to do with the clients at all. They're not necessarily going to see any of this. This is for me to complete. So you can see it tells you here which elements these are from on the right hand side. If you're using any of the client detail sections, it will automatically fill those in for you and link those to the client file. And then I've input the questions that I want to answer myself when I'm doing these forms, as well as a signature. Now, signatures are the most important part, I think, when we do any forms, whether it's a consultation form or it's a COVID-19 form, you want to make sure you've got signature. You want to make sure you've got it for everything. You always just want to make sure they're signing their life away. And you will feel like that you're getting them to sign everything as much as possible.
A million things.
Literally, it's always the way, isn't it?
I used to be like, let's get your autograph just to make it
a
little bit
that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah.
I like that. It sounds a bit nicer than, can you just sign here?
Sign there. Yeah.
That's it. Now we're going to have a look at a little preview of the form. Now this is how it will appear when you use it in the Consult app. Now to do what I'm showing you, you can only do it in the Consult app. The things that Lizzie was talking about, the COVID-19 forms, the consultation forms that you're sending to them, you can do that using Timely Consult within Timely. But for this bit that we're looking at now, it is only within the Consult app. So we'll show you how that looks to actually do it. So this is me filling in my information for my client. So we're going to search for the client by name. It's going to bring that information up. As I said, if you're using any of the client detail elements, it will automatically fill those in. We're then going to fill in the treatment information. So this is the information that you need to know for your follow-up treatments. Exactly the same as what you would do on your record card that the company supplies you with. I literally took my form that I got given and transferred it onto Consult. Again, you can see now we're getting, I'm signing it, my client is signing it, and then you're going to hit complete. Now you're going to hit this little arrow here in the top right hand corner. It's going to take you to the preview page. Now this is really important that you just double check that all this information is correct. It's all there as you need it. You've not left anything out. Anything that the client wants to add in there, you've got on there. You've got both signatures and it's all done. Once you've done that, this is the last time you can edit any of this information. So anything that you need to add in there, just make sure it's in there. Once you've done that, you're going to hit upload, and this is going to upload it to the client file within Timely. So in Timely, you would go to their client file. So go to the customer, search for them, you're going to hit documents, and then you can see here it's saved with the date, time, and it's saved it as a PDF. So you're going to hit download to be able to view it, and it will show you the form completed with both signatures, all that information. Because it's a PDF, it's insurance compliant, so that you have the you can't edit it. It's, you know, it's saved as that document, so you can't go back and change it, but it's also securely saved. And so if you delete the client for whatever reason, all that information will still be there. Once you restore them, all their files are still there. You've still got all this information. So if you're like me and you clean through your client list, say once a year, just to make sure that you've got the most up-to-date people, especially if you're doing things like SMS campaigns, you don't want to be sending it to people that aren't coming anymore. And you can send, once you restore them, if they come back, you've got all that information there. It's all still saved there. Now, the other benefit of using these features is to reward your clients. So obviously, if you've got all this information, you can then reward them as best as possible. And Lizzie's going to talk us through how to get that and what that looks like.
Yeah. So rewards, I don't know about you, but I love a reward. You know, when it comes to going shopping anywhere, if I get points or like Boots, for instance, I pretty much only ever go to Boots rather than Superdrug, because I know that I'm going to get the points there and I can use them. So it's super important.
I'm currently building up my Nectar card points because they keep telling me they've got bonuses for Christmas. So
good idea. See, it works.
In there more and more. It does work.
Just in Sainsbury's all the time.
Constantly, yeah, I'm always there.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just such an important tool for you guys to be using if you're not already using it. You know, it's going to encourage your clients to book in more regularly. It's also a nice way to say thank you as well for coming so often. You've got a regular client that comes every month. You know, you don't want them just to come every month and not receive anything back, because it helps build that relationship as well. Yeah, so that's rewards. We're going to show you a little bit about what you can do with that. I'll pass that back on to Annabel to go through.
Yeah, so we're going to have a look at some live examples. So this is where you would see your rewards formula once you've set it up. As I say, there's information in the blog from today that we've popped in the link of how to set all these things up, and that we're going to talk about from now. So this is where you would see your rewards formulas, and these are actual live customers. These are customers of ours that are using these rewards, and their actual live business is using them. So as you can see with this particular business, the client is getting a reward every 2 visits, which means that their average spend is roughly £125 per visit. So it's a really nice thing to do for their clients with this business, that they're giving them every couple of appointments that they come in, they're getting this nice £20 reward to go towards, whether it's a product or another treatment or anything like that. It's a really nice way of saying thank you for spending so much with them each time they come. The next one you can see is probably a little bit closer to how most of us would run our businesses. Myself, I used to do a loyalty card, and so mine was 6 visits and 12 visits, so they'd get a discount on both of them. And this is very similar to that. So every 8 visits, this client is going to get a £10 spend. So the best way to kind of transfer that over from your loyalty card, if you're moving from a discounted card version to a point system, is just to work out your average spend and then work out what the discount would be based on your card. So mine, for example, was 15% after 6 treatments. So I could then go in and work out what that would be based on my average spend and do that link together. This customer is giving 3% reward for their clients roughly every 8 visits. We're then going to have a look at a couple of Australia and New Zealand ones. So you'll notice these are now in dollars. Again, very similar. It's every 6 visits for this salon, and they're getting a $20 reward when they spend $500 in their salon. And the same again with the last one, they're getting a reward every 10 visits. So very, very similar to what we would do with a card system. Now, the best thing to do right now, as Lizzie said, is to get it advertised now. Get your clients knowing about it now. You want them to be aware of this so that when they book in for their appointments, they're getting the best that they can from it. They know they've got a point to hit. So in this example, this is a 250 point reward. So they know that they can get to that point. I've thrown this little picture together using Canva. So I've used the timely branding so that it's something the clients recognize. If they see it on their receipts, which you can do with the Innovate plan, you can choose to let your clients see their points building up on their receipts. That it's going to be something that they're going to recognize. So it's instantly on their social media, they're going to recognize that's what it is. It's nice and easy. It's quick for them to look at. And you're getting it out there straight away. As Lizzie said, you want them to know about it. You want them to be pushing to it. So yeah, it's absolutely really, really great to get this set up, especially when they're coming back from lockdown. It's another extra reward to try and get them in. You know, like you said, there's going to be people that are nervous about coming in as well, and so it's a really good way to just to get them back in the door. And I think if they can see their rewards, they're more likely to kind of upsell themselves. So they'll want to, you know, if they're £10 away from their target of getting their reward, they're going to book in for a little upgrade or something like that.
I've definitely had times where I've booked into something and they're like, oh, you've got this credit or you've got these points and stuff. And I'm like, didn't even know I had that. So if I knew that I'd had that, maybe I would have come more regularly. So yeah, it's a great tool to be using, for definitely. Yeah.
And we're going to look now at incentivizing your staff.
Yes.
In a similar way, really.
Yeah. So staff targets. I imagine most salons are already doing something to try and target people, whether it's, you know, keeping an eye on what they're selling or how many bookings they're doing or anything like that. So it's a great way to motivate your staff, especially after this year. You know, if you've had somebody that's been off for a very long time, getting back into work, get back into the swing of things is really difficult. If you give them a challenge, something to work to, it's really going to get them pumped and get them working as well. A bit of friendly competition is always good as well in the salon. I don't know about you, but I would literally be like, right, I need to sell £100 more products, and then I'm going to get, I don't know, I think we used to get a discount, or we'd get an allowance for products and stuff. So I was like, I need to get that cleanser. So
definitely.
yeah.
We were really old school, because we didn't have in my old job, when I was working in a salon employed, we didn't have a system like this where it was on a computer. So we had a flip chart, paper chart, and we'd literally write our names on every day and what we'd taken.
That's what we used
and
to do.
imagine by the end of the week there was scribbles everywhere, and cross stuff out, and how much hit. And
yeah, we used to do that, and then we used to have to copy it into an email as well, and it was just bonkers.
Yeah.
So much time.
Absolute nightmare.
And you'd have to
at least with this it's easier.
well. Yeah, you'd have to sell something and then have another treatment, and then you'd be like, oh my god, what did I sell? Yeah. So yeah, this makes it so much easier.
Much easier.
Also, it's going to grow your business as well. If you're getting your staff to sell more products or more treatments, you know, it's a win-win for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So Annabel's going to show you a couple of things with that.
Yes. So we're going to have a look again at a few live examples of staff targets. So you head to the dashboard to view these. Again, there's information in the blog of how to set this up in the first place, but we wanted to give you an idea of how different businesses are using the targets, how they're setting them up, what it looks like, that kind of thing. So as you can see, with each of these, we've got different targets per staff member. So it might be that you've got some part-time staff, you might have some full-time staff, you might have reception staff who don't do treatments, so they can only really retail products for their targets. So it's all very specific to your business and how it works. Now, a lot of people will get their targets for their staff based on their salary. So it'll maybe be double their monthly salary, or double their weekly salary, hourly, whatever it might be. Each of these businesses is very different. So you can see with this one, again, it'll be an Australian or New Zealand based company or American company because it's in dollars, but they've clearly got a staff member who either is part-time or perhaps doesn't do treatments, because the two of them have got the same target. It's a very large target, and then the one on their own has got a much smaller target. So they're probably not selling treatments or doing treatments. So maybe they're a receptionist or they're part-time. You can see they're not doing sort of much less hours, really, sort of 5 less hours for the other staff. So probably more likely that they're reception. So that's one way of kind of looking at those targets there. We've got a solo staff member here, so they're just looking at their own target. And sort of working out how well they're doing there. Like we said, being able to see everybody else's target is fantastic, because it really does give you that incentive to just push yourself. Yeah, definitely. You have that kind of that nice healthy competition in a way, that perhaps if you've got a couple of staff members with the same target, one might be doing better than the other. Gives you that bit of an incentive to sort of push a bit further forward. This business is quite specific in their targets, so I would go as far as to say that these are definitely using that salary based target of where they want their staff to hit. And then finally, we're going to look at how it looks when they're going through it. So once they're making those sales, you can see it gives you an idea of how far they've got to go. So they've got their target, they've got an idea of how much they've got left to go. We can see how much how they're working towards each one, and how that's working. So really, really important way of incentivizing your staff. And another thing to kind of go alongside that is to look at how your staff like to be rewarded. So we know with the client rewards, they're getting products or treatments, you know, they're getting money towards a product or a treatment, whereas staff sometimes like time off rather than money. Like you said, we also used to get vouchers at one of my old workplaces, and they would ask us for like 3 companies that we like to spend with, or that we like to buy you know, sort of stuff from, and they'd make sure that we always got a voucher for those places. Some people like Costa, John Lewis, or it might be you just want, you know, to leave early if you hit your target. You know. It all depends on the staff.
Yeah, I mean, we used to get products in my last salon job that I had. And I remember just like we'd take it like from in the salon, and we'd literally just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get my cleanser." Everything was like a really fun day at the end of the month.
Like, what are you going to take next? What's the next
Yeah,
one on your list?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
But yeah, great.
yeah, it's always good fun. It's always good fun. But of
Definitely.
course, you can't have staff target without having clients. And so
True.
Lizzie's going to look at, we're now going to look at wait lists
Mhm.
and messages. So trying to fill your diary as much as possible.
Yeah. So wait lists. I never had a wait list ever in any salon I've ever worked in, and it was chaos. Like people be ringing, texting, emailing. You never know who had messaged first, and it was a nightmare to try and keep track of that. So at Timely, we have a wait list, which is amazing. You can literally
It's
just
so
get that
good.
text message, add it straight away, and it will put it in the order that you're adding it. So make sure that you're adding it in the order that they're messaging you. That's how you do it at the moment. Soon we are going to have automated online waitlist, which is going to be even more easy. They can just go online, be like, oh, it's actually a bit fully booked, I'll just add myself to a waiting list. It's going to be so good.
Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I remember we had paper everywhere, and it was just just a nightmare.
We
And
used
then
to
you'd
have a
have
big
to read them.
reception book.
Yeah,
So we'd have this
yeah,
massive book, and it would just be a list of people, and you've got no idea whether they'd been in or whether they'd
yeah,
had their, someone forgot to
exactly.
cross it out.
Yeah, it didn't actually work because I
No.
was, a majority of the time, I'd probably call people that weren't top of the list. I'd probably just ring the person that I spoke to last because that's on my
Yeah.
mind, which is really unfair. So yeah, so this is our wait list. Annabelle's going to show you a couple of things that we can do, show you a couple of accounts as well of what they're doing with their wait lists.
Yeah. I love the wait list because I think, like you said, the fact that it adds it in the order that
Yeah.
you've
Can I
requested.
say as well, everybody look at the clients' names. That really made me laugh earlier. Buzz Lightyear, Mulan.
Yeah, I think everyone who knows me by now will know how much of a Disney fan I am. So yeah, this is my my Disney ideal clients
Yeah.
in here. You know,
Although
they're all lovely.
Porky, I don't think he'd be very good.
I don't
He'd just
think
be
he'd be a
wandering
very good
around.
hair client. I don't know how much of his hair is getting cut.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
I love it. I love it.
As you can see on my wait list, what I've done is, as well as adding the service, the staff member, the time they want, I've also added a little bit of extra information for my clients to help them when they arrive. So in this example, I've added information on what drinks they like. We've got someone would like a mince pie and some mulled wine while their colours developing. It might be that you want to add that they need to stock up on products, or that on the phone they mentioned that they've got to be out at a certain time. So there's lots of different ways you can use the wait list. It's not just a case of adding the appointment and the time and the staff member. There's other ways that you can make this more personal. So as you can see, we've added this extra information to the wait list, but the important thing is to also add it to the appointment, because what you don't want to do is add them to the calendar and then lose that information. So when you add the appointment to the calendar, it will automatically fill that information for you. So whatever you've put in there, it will fill it. You're clicking on the time that you want it in there. You've got that staff member, but you need to head over to notes and then add that information into the notes section as well. Once you've done that, so if you've got reception staff, perhaps it's not you who's doing the treatment that has added the client to the wait list. You might have reception staff that are doing that for you, or admin staff that are doing that for you. It just means that the staff members have got that information. You can prepare a little bit better. You can get these things ready. As you can see with this lovely client, Mickey Mouse likes a black coffee on arrival. So you can make sure that you've got that ready. It's where he gets, so yeah, exactly. He's always hyper. So, all that black coffee is working really well. So yeah, you can make sure that perhaps that receptionist can see that. You might say to them, well, can you just make their coffee while I'm just finishing up with this callback, or can you just make sure that that's done? So you don't want to lose that information once it's coming from the wait list. It's all part of that personal experience and that personal way to treat these clients. You know, we want them to feel welcome in our business and in our salons, and we want them to come back, spend more with us. So being able to kind of enhance that experience is going to be the best way to do it. And that leads us nicely onto the messages as well, because that's another way of kind of enhancing that kind of.
Talking about like having your relationship with clients as well, it's so important. I remember working in a salon in Fulham years ago when I first moved to London, and they really had like such a friendly feel there, and like clients would come in even if they're not booked in, just to come and say hi, and like it's so nice. They'd come and just sit by you and have a chat. Like that's what you want to have that relationship, which is where follow-up messages are really helpful. You know, you can use them for, you know, aftercare, reviews, feedback, getting more bookings online as well, which is great. But you can actually rebuild that relationship. You know, after lockdown, we probably haven't spoken to our clients as much as we would normally. So it's definitely a good way of sort of rebuilding that and, you know, getting that trust back again. But yeah, aftercare is gold as well. I don't know about you. You know, I think we were saying last week as well, you know, I go for an appointment and they've told me what I need to do. I've gone and I can't remember anything. So actually, you know, what we do here, like especially what you've got, Annabelle, on yours, is so cool. You can just literally click on it and then you've got it all there for you. But yeah, Annabelle is going to show you.
I'll show you all my messages.
I love it.
As I mentioned last week, I'd got loads and loads and loads of messages. So you can see, this is just part of them. I'll scroll down the rest of them in a minute. But you can see I use the follow-up rebooking messages quite a lot, which I always think, especially now after lockdown, clients have got out of that routine again. They were just starting to get back into it in July. And then once this hit, they've got back out of that routine. And so using the rebooking messages is a really good way of just reminding them to get booked in. Some of them won't want to book in straight away because they don't know what's happening with lockdowns and things like that. So just using this is a really good way of reminding them. You can also see I've got them for every service, so it's very specific. They're all personalised, so they've all got their name, they've all got my name in them, they've all got a booking link in there so they can go straight to rebook online. But you can also see I have all of these follow-up messages, like Lizzie said, for aftercare, because I'm exactly the same. And I used to give out like paper aftercare sheets, and I'd forget what was on there. I'd be given aftercare and I'd forget what's on it. And I always think certain things change. So particularly with like my advanced treatments, if I was doing peels or advanced facials, sometimes they change what they recommend you do afterwards. And so very quickly printed out aftercare sheets become out of date. And we were watching, I don't know if anybody saw the live yesterday with Millie and Holly Power, Millie Kendall and Holly Power, on sustainability. And we were talking about the impact that we can have on the industry, and going paperless is a really good way that we can do that. So with Timely, we already do email receipts, we already do those things. So using this to send aftercare is going to be a great way to kind of help with that sustainability of our industry as well. So we're going to dive in.
So it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't panic, like, oh God, I haven't got any, and you have to go print it quickly. You don't have to think about that.
That's it. All here for you. It's all set up nice and easily. So we're going to have a look at the waxing message. So here you can see how my client receives their message. So they get their text. As you can see, it's all very personal. So it looks very, it's nice and easy for them to read. It looks like I've sent it direct to them, although we know it's been sent out automatically. To the client, it seems very personal, which is amazing. They're going to double click on that bit.ly link, and what I've done is I've set up my aftercare as a Google document to be able to edit that as time goes on. So if anything changes or we feel like anything's missing, we can add that in, and they can view this whenever. So it's not just a case of they get one piece of paper, they lose it, or once they've clicked on it, they can only view it once. They can literally use this again and again and again, which is absolutely perfect. They can have, I've added a link in here to leave a testimonial. So it's another way you can kind of get that review. It's another option for them. So that's a really great way of using a follow-up message for aftercare. Another way, as we scroll back through my many appointments, another way we can use the follow-up messages is to get some feedback. Now, this might be really important post lockdown and sort of reopening, especially after last time. There was a lot of people that were nervous about coming back into salons, particularly older clients, vulnerable clients, if they've got health conditions, that kind of thing. They're a bit worried about coming back into the salon. And so I've always used this client feedback form. Again, it goes out automatically. It's got a shorter link in there. And this one goes to a Google form. And the reason I use Google Forms is because you can easily see an individual response, but you can also see a group response as well. So it groups it together so you can get a very quick overview of how likely people are likely to recommend you to their family, or how satisfied they were, how they rate certain sections. But post lockdown, it can be a good way to kind of get an idea as if there's anything else that they want you to add to your business to make them feel a little bit more comfortable. Did they mind that it looked a little bit more clinical? How did they feel about having their drink in a paper cup rather than normal cup? And all those kind of things, you can just get that little bit of feedback, and just really working on that client experience, and kind of enhancing that experience of how to make the most of them coming in,
working in a different way. And it's a bit of trial and error at the moment, isn't it? Like, what works and what actually doesn't feel right.
Definitely.
So yeah, getting real reviews and feedback right now is what you want.
It's spot on, absolutely. And I think that can make a real massive difference of sort of how the client feels about it. They know that you're taking that seriously then as well. If you're asking for that feedback, you're taking it seriously for them, you're taking their health seriously. And it might be that if lots of people suggest a similar thing, you can then implement it, and you can say, look, we are listening to you, we know that this was important to you, and so we've reintroduced this, or we've changed the way that we operate doing this, and just kind of making it more comfortable for them to come back. And
some people are like nervous to give feedback as well, like face to face. I know I'm like that. If you've ever had a haircut you don't like, like as an example, you just leave and you're like, yeah, that's great, thank you, like, and you don't say anything. But actually, to be able to to get the option to actually do it, like not face to face, is so much nicer.
I think that comes from being British as well sometimes, doesn't it? We don't like to complain.
I say sorry today, and I actually did have a haircut really bad, a really, really bad haircut in the middle of lockdowns, and my hair so up here when I wanted it down here, and it was like this.
Oh no.
And so it's starting to grow out, but I've got used to having shorter hair now. But I left and I was like, thank you so much, that was really great.
Yeah,
and I left and I rang my friend. I was like, oh my god, I've cut all my hair off.
And that's the kind of thing that perhaps if you'd had that feedback form, because a lot of the time we can keep them anonymous, you could have given that honest feedback that I wasn't without that kind of I really didn't like it, but at least you've given that feedback, and it's something they could work on. You might have loved everything else about the experience, but the fact that they got your hair wonky is going to be a massive reason you're not going to go back. So at least they can work on that. And it's always good to get that feedback. But definitely, I think we're definitely too British when it comes to that.
Definitely. We need to stop.
We don't do
apologizing for everything. If somebody bumps into me and I say sorry, it's so ridiculous.
Like, why am I apologizing?
Oh dear.
I think that's everything we've got for everybody today. We've left you lots to work on, lots to get yourself sorted. We're all very, very excited to have businesses reopening next week. On the 2nd. So next week will be our last one on the Wednesday at a later morning. We're going to go back to a Monday because we're all going to be back working hard leading up to Christmas. and we're going to be doing after next week. Next week, we're going to be looking at ways you can fill your calendar, get busy, sort of really open with a bang, basically, and sort of really bring 2020 back, because let's face it, it's not been the best year. But if we could have a best final month of the year.
Yes. I know.
Think back.
2021. I cannot wait for you to arrive.
Yeah, that is the one.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so if you can get these set up now, you'll fly into the new year with the best business ever. So yeah, let us know if you've got any other questions in the comments. Thank you for everyone for joining us. We've had Ryan, our big boss Ryan, has come in to say hi to us. We've got Jessica Linnell saying hi as well. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. So we'll be back next week with some more.
Can't get rid of me, Annabel.
Can't get rid of her now. She's like the furniture.
Yeah. Oh, bye guys.
Wonderful. See you soon, everybody. Bye.